Have you ever had that feeling, that sense of anxiety that just it feels like it's everywhere all the time? You're frustrated, maybe scared, just completely at your wit's end.
Yeah, that feeling. It's exhausting.
Totally. But what if that anxiety isn't actually the real problem? What if it's more like a messenger, trying to tell you something deeper is going on?
That's a powerful question.
Right. So today we're doing a deep dive into Amy Scher's book, How to Heal Yourself from Anxiety When No One Else Can. We're going to try and pull out the most important ideas, the really surprising bits, to give you a shortcut to understanding this really fresh take on healing anxiety.
And Amy Scher, she's really a key voice in mind, body, spirit healing.
Yeah.
An energy therapist. And her book, this 2019 one, it's very focused, laser focused really, on tackling energetic blockages specifically tied to anxiety. But it's important to say, this isn't about replacing medical care. Not at all. It's more like a powerful addition, gentle but really beneficial. And honestly, she's found it often works when other things haven't quite hit the mark.
Right.
So this deep dive, it's about showing you how you can feel more empowered, hopeful, and, well, genuinely healed by using your own inner resources.
And Amy's own story is pretty central to this, isn't it? She talks about being this happy, creative kid on the outside, but inside, secretly just consumed by worry. It's quite a contrast. Worrying about being away from parents, failing tests, upsetting people, car accidents, even her parents dying, all that heavy stuff.
Wow, yeah.
And she had this pattern, she says, of keeping emotions just tucked deep inside, always trying to be the strong one, the one who could handle anything, even when she really, really needed to just fall apart.
That sounds familiar for a lot of people, I think.
Definitely. And then big life events happen, like her grandfather passing away and her dad struggling with depression around the same time. That just amplified everything. Of course.
She started getting sick a lot, missing school, feeling anxious but not knowing why. Ended up seeing lots of doctors, therapists, trying medications just to sort of function.
Right.
Then, fast forward to 2007, after being sick for years with something mysterious, she gets diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease.
Ah, Lyme.
Mhm.
That's tough.
Yeah, and that physical illness, it just magnified all her existing fears, the world feeling unsafe, bad things happening. It was like, for the first time, she couldn't run from those emotional patterns anymore. The physical illness kind of forced her hand.
And what's so fascinating there is what she discovered through that healing process. It was huge. She realized anxiety. It's not a condition itself.
Okay.
It's more like a side effect. A side effect of a really unhealthy pattern that, honestly, a lot of us learn without even realizing it, suppressing our emotions.
Anxiety was her body talking to her. A messenger saying, hey, something's really wrong here. And her lasting healing, the permanent kind, it only came when she finally turned inward and dealt with those underlying emotional issues. She has this great line, you can't be who you really are when you're suppressing how you really feel.
That really hits home. So if it's not a condition, what is anxiety then, according to her?
She explains it's not like, sadness or anger or a single emotion. It's more of a dynamic. It comes from unresolved emotional energy, basically emotional baggage.
Right, baggage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your body feels the imbalance from trying to hold all that stuff in. And sure, external things can trigger it and make it feel worse.
Like a stressful meeting or something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But those triggers aren't the origin. The origin is what's already stuck inside you. And interestingly, it's not just fear that causes it. It can be any unprocessed baggage, anger, frustration, you name it.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so she builds on this with the concept of the body's energy system. We kind of know about energy from things like EEGs for brainwaves or EKGs for the heart.
Right, those measure certain types of electrical energy.
But Amy works with something she calls subtle energy. What exactly is that?
So subtle energy, it's that unseen field that underlies everything, influencing our physical and emotional states. Ancient traditions like traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, they've recognized this for thousands of years.
Okay.
Within this system, you've got key parts. First, meridians. Think of them like energy highways running all through your body.
Highways, okay.
Yeah, delivering energy to organs, glands, muscles, everything along their path. Each one has a specific job and relates to certain emotions. And there's one really important one she highlights, the triple warmer meridian.
Triple warmer.
It governs a fight, flight, or freeze response. Amy calls it the body's freak-out mode.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And then you have chakras. These are like spinning energy centers. They hold the energy of like old stories, imprints from life experiences. Each chakra relates to specific body areas and emotions too. So symptoms Whether they feel emotional, like that knot in your stomach, or physical, like chest burning or neck tension, they happen when these energies get disrupted or blocked, usually because of stuck emotional energy.
So releasing the emotion helps the energy flow better.
Exactly. And releasing that stuck emotional energy doesn't just help you feel better emotionally,
Yeah.
it actually strengthens your whole body, makes you less reactive to other negative stuff too.
That's pretty profound.
It really is. And the cool thing about working with this energy stuff, it's free. It works. No negative side effects. And it doesn't mess with whatever medical treatments you're already doing.
That's huge.
Yeah. She gives the example of Jean. Her doctor actually sent her to Amy. Jean had elevated liver enzymes and really bad anxiety.
Wow.
So they worked on clearing emotional energies stuck around her liver. And guess what? Both the liver enzymes and the anxiety levels went down dramatically. And she hadn't changed anything else.
That really shows the connection, doesn't it?
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Amy lays out 5 main pillars for healing, right?
Yes, 5 core areas. But she says you don't have to do them perfectly or like in a strict step-by-step order.
Exactly. It's not rigid. The goal is just to gently start releasing those subconscious reasons why you might be holding on to anxiety. True healing, she says, comes from just showing up for it, uncovering layers bit by bit, consistently bringing what you learn into your life. Her mantra is big picture, big picture, big picture.
I like that. Big picture. So pillar 1 starts with calming and retraining your body. Makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
If you've got anxiety, your body's probably stuck in that freak out mode.
Yeah, the fight, flight, or freeze, covered by that triple warmer meridian we mentioned.
And being stuck there, it creates this cycle, right? It actually stops you from healing because your body's constantly on high alert. She talks about the physical stuff, blood getting shunted away, extra glucose, suppressed immune system, memory issues, heart rate up. It's definitely not all in your head.
Absolutely not. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's clear. Your body simply cannot heal and defend itself at the same time. It just can't.
So our job is to reprogram it.
Essentially, yeah. To teach your body it's safe to relax. And that takes consistency. She uses the analogy of potty training a puppy.
Okay.
You know, gentle but persistent. Little bursts of practice throughout the day, showing your system a different way until that becomes the new normal.
Right. So knowing the body needs to feel safe to heal, she gives some practical techniques right away. Things like the forehead rest using your fingertips on your forehead.
Helps draw blood to the thinking part of the brain, calms you down.
And the triple warmer meridian.
Yeah.
Trace that specific movement to calm that system down.
Yes. Tracing backward from temples, around ears, down the neck, shoulders, arms.
And the panic point or gamut point on the hand, tapping or rubbing it.
Right. Another way to calm that triple warmer.
And the advice is to do these like 3 times a day for a few minutes, but also immediately when you feel triggered.
Yes, consistency is key, but also using them in the moment. That's how you really retrain the response.
Okay, makes sense. Building on that physical calm, the next step is dealing with your feelings. This feels crucial given what she said about suppression.
Absolutely. Suppression is the real cost, leading to anxiety, even physical illness. Emotions, I mean, the word comes from Latin word to move. They're meant to be fluid, not frozen.
Right, but we often don't let them move, do we?
Exactly. Animals in the wild shake off stress instinctively. Humans, we're often told to calm down, suck it up. So if we don't feel, process, and release that energy, it gets stuck, frozen, just waiting to be triggered again.
So how do we process them now?
This is where she brings in techniques like emotional freedom technique, EFT, sometimes called tapping, and chakra tapping. They're tools specifically for processing and releasing emotions right when you feel them.
EFT, I've heard of that.
Yeah, Gary Craig, who popularized it, basically said, the cause of all negative emotion is an imbalance in the energy system. Think about that dog analogy again, Rufus and the mailman. Just saying, it's okay, doesn't work. But calming him while he's facing the danger, that sends a different signal. It reprograms his reaction. EFT and chakra tapping help us do that for ourselves with difficult emotions.
Okay, can you walk us through the basic EFT steps?
Sure. First, you kind of tune into the feeling and rate how strong it is, say 1 to 10.
Okay, rate the intensity.
Then you create a setup statement. It always follows the pattern. Even though, describe the feeling, maybe physical sensations too. I can be okay anyway.
Give me an example.
Like, even though I feel so anxious and my heart is pounding, or maybe even though I'm just so angry about having this anxiety again, and then you finish with, I can be okay anyway, or I accept myself anyway, something like that.
Got it. Then what?
Then you tap on the karate chop, point the fleshy part on the outside of your hand while saying that setup statement 3 times.
Okay.
After that, you tap through a sequence of points on your face and upper body, top of head, eyebrow, side of eye, under nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm.
Right, the standard EFT points.
Exactly. And while you're tapping these points, you just talk. You vent about how you feel, let it out. Chakra tapping uses points related to the chakras instead, but it works similarly. She also has shortcuts if you're too upset to talk or not sure what's wrong.
And the main idea is just do it when you feel bad.
Pretty much. Her rule is, if you're sitting around feeling yucky, you might as well use the techniques to help it move out. Why suffer if you don't have to?
Good point. Okay, so we're calming the body, dealing with present feelings. But you mentioned earlier the real key is often deeper stuff, stuck emotions from the past.
Yes, exactly. This brings us to pillar 3. Release stuck emotions. This is where Amy says the core root of persistent anxiety often lies. It's that emotional energy that got stuck maybe years ago because it was pushed down.
And she defines trauma quite broadly here.
Very broadly. It's not just about big catastrophic events. It's any experience that was deeply distressing to your system. It's about how your energy reacted and got stuck, not necessarily the objective size of the event.
Okay, so how do we release those?
For this, she introduces a technique called thymus test and tap, or TTT, the thymus gland right here on the chest.
Yeah.
It's incredibly connected to the body's whole energy system. Tapping on it can clear almost any kind of block or imbalance. It helps process individual emotions while also rebalancing your immune system, nervous system, even your heart's energy field. It's powerful stuff.
Wow, how do you use TT2? Do you need to know which emotion is stuck?
Yeah, identifying it helps. You can use muscle testing, that technique where your body gives you a yes or no through muscle strength.
Right.
To ask things like, is there a stuck emotion causing anxiety my body wants to release now? Amy provides a list of common ones. Abandoned, frustrated, helpless, angry, lonely, unsafe, worried. Notice anxiety isn't on the list.
Because it's the result, not the root emotion.
Exactly. Or you can just intuitively run your finger over the list and see what feels sticky.
Okay, so you identify an emotion, say helpless, then what?
Then you simply tap firmly, maybe 7 times or so, over your thymus gland with your fingertips. As you tap, hold the intention of clearing that specific emotion, helpless, from your system. And remember to breathe while you do it.
That sounds surprisingly simple.
It is simple, but profound. But it's not usually a one-and-done thing. We all have layers, hundreds of stuck emotions. The same one might come up again, but tied to a different time in your life.
Okay.
You can also use TCT for specific aspects of anxiety, like anxiety around certain people or jobs or physical symptoms. Yeah. Even use it right after a panic attack. And it's great for installing positive feelings, too, after you clear the negative ones.
And to stop new stuff getting stuck.
Awareness is key. Allow yourself to feel things. Don't dismiss your feelings by saying it's no big deal if it actually feels like a big deal to you. Acknowledge it. And keep using the calming and tapping techniques regularly.
Right. So releasing individual stuck emotions, does that lead somewhere else?
It often does. It naturally starts to uncover the bigger picture. Those whole experiences from the past that haven't been fully processed. Which brings us neatly to pillar 4. Clear, unprocessed experiences from the past.
Okay.
Amy uses this great metaphor. Imagine upsetting experiences get stored in a glass capsule inside you if they aren't processed. Everything is in there. The emotions, images, smells, sounds.
All the details.
All the details. Then something in your present life triggers a reminder of one of those details, and boom, the whole capsule gets activated and you feel that anxiety all over again. She tells Jesse's story, teased for his size at 5.
Yeah, I remember that. Led to anxiety in groups later.
Right. And he could still feel the pit in his stomach, even remember the pattern of the tile floor from back then. Those details were still active in his system.
So clearing these means forgetting they happen.
Not forgetting, no. And not forcing yourself to feel happy about them either. It's often impossible. It's more about reaching a point of acceptance. Okay, that happened, and then clearing the emotional charge around it.
Yeah.
Finding neutrality so it doesn't have that painful grip on you anymore.
Okay, neutrality. How do we find these experiences to clear?
Again, muscle testing can help.
Yeah.
Do I have an unprocessed experience linked to anxiety? Maybe test for specific ages, or just brainstorm. Make a list of memories that still feel live, that still have an emotional sting. Or think about times when you felt like you were never the same after something happened. Or maybe just before the anxiety really started, even seemingly small things, Mom yelled at me, fell out of the tree, car skidded, big job change, breakup, being left alone somewhere.
Lots of possibilities.
Yeah. Then you just pick one to start with. Maybe the one that feels strongest or just one that comes to mind.
And how do you clear the experience itself?
You use EFT, again, the same tapping process we talked about for feelings, but you apply it to the memory of the experience. So you rate the intensity of the memory, 110. Create a setup statement focused on the experience. Even though describe the event, the details, how it felt physically and emotionally, then, maybe even now, I can be okay anyway.
Like Jesse's example. Even though those kids laughed at me, teacher put me in the corner, still get a pit in my stomach, I can be okay anyway.
Exactly like that. Then you tap the karate chop point saying that, and then tap through the other points while telling the story, venting about it. Pay special attention to what Amy calls the sticky parts, those vivid details that really stand out, like someone's face or the color of something.
What if someone has trouble recalling specific memories?
Good question. She suggests options. You can tap on the feelings about the anxiety itself, like feeling tired of dealing with it. Sometimes that leads you back.
Yeah.
Or use mementos, photos, objects, or just do subconscious tapping using general phrases while focusing on the feeling of having unprocessed stuff.
Okay. So we've calmed the body, dealt with feelings, released stuck emotions, cleared past experiences. What's left? This feels pretty comprehensive.
There's one more crucial layer, often operating totally beneath our awareness, our beliefs. This is pillar 5. Change harmful beliefs.
Beliefs, okay.
Amy calls them negative affirmations. Ideas we hold as true, mostly in our subconscious, that shape our reality. She shares Mike's story. His belief, I'm safer when I'm invisible, came from growing up with an unpredictable mother.
And that affected his adult life.
Hugely. So the anatomy of a belief basically is your subconscious gets a message from an experience, creates a rule, this is good, this is bad, and that rule directs future feelings and behavior. It creates this tainted lens you see things through, often causing anxiety.
Are there different kinds of harmful beliefs related to anxiety?
Yeah, she highlights 2 main types. First, beliefs that directly create anxiety, like the world is unsafe or I'm not capable. Second, beliefs that actually block healing because your subconscious thinks anxiety is protecting you.
Protecting you?
Well, take Susan's story. She panicked at a school assembly, which got her out of performing. Subconsciously, she formed the belief, I need anxiety to keep me safe, because it helped her avoid scary situations. Or maybe anxiety stops you from potential disappointment, or gives you an excuse to say no. The subconscious can be tricky.
Wow. Okay, so how do you change these deep-seated, often subconscious beliefs?
For this, Amy created a specific technique called the sweep. She describes it as super simple, a way to gently sweep beliefs out of the subconscious.
Is it like hypnosis?
No, not hypnosis. It's more like reprogramming through a simple conversational script. It uses the key phrase, I am now free. It works by acknowledging the belief, building trust with the subconscious, and then replacing the old belief with a new one. She suggests recording the script and listening to it, even repeating along.
And how do you know which beliefs to work on?
She provides a big list of common ones. I'm not good enough, I'm too sensitive, it's unsafe to relax. Healing would mean this was all my fault. If I heal, I'll have to be more social. You see which ones resonate, which ones feel true for you, and you can tailor the wording.
So you pick a belief, like, I'm not good enough, and use a sweep script with it.
Exactly. You fill in the blank in the script. Even though I have this belief that I'm not good enough, you go through the short script a few times, then you can muscle test again to see if it feels cleared.
Are there other ways to clear beliefs besides the sweep?
Yes. You can use EFT or chakra tapping, just like for feelings or experiences, but focus the setup statement and the venting on the belief itself. Or you can investigate if a belief is linked to a specific past experience or stuck emotion, and then clear those using EFT or TTT.
It sounds like these pillars are all really connected.
Deeply interconnected. Emotions, experiences, beliefs, they all weave together. Ryan's story illustrates this so well. He had IBS, back spasms, generalized anxiety. Turned out it was tied to beliefs like, anxiety keeps me safe because it stops me having to be out in the world. That belief linked back to a job rejection when he was 22, and even further back to his Grandpa Ben's hopes for him.
Wow, that's complex.
It is, but they used the sweep for the belief, TTT for the stuck emotions from age 22 and related to his grandpa, and EFT for the job rejection experience.
Yeah.
Even if the links didn't seem totally logical at first, working on all those different angles brought huge relief. It really shows that healing isn't always linear, It's about working from different angles at different times and in different ways.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so those 5 pillars are the core. But you mentioned Amy goes even deeper with some advanced practices.
She does. Once you've got a handle on the basics, these can tackle some really subtle but powerful patterns.
Like what?
Well, first, there's energetic sensitivity. This is for people who feel like they just absorb other people's energy or emotions. They get easily overwhelmed or anxious around
We're
others.
being an empath.
Exactly. And she stresses it's not a flaw, just a natural tendency, but it can be overwhelming if it's subconscious.
So how do you address that?
You use the tools you know.
Yeah.
TTT to release beliefs like, it's my job to carry others' emotions, and install things like, I'm empowered, or I'm only responsible for my own feelings. Use the sweep to clear the pattern of taking on everyone else's stuff, and install, I have healthy energetic boundaries.
Okay. What else?
Another big one is negative energetic reactions to foods, substances, or other triggers. You know how sometimes coffee or even a certain perfume seems to trigger anxiety out of nowhere?
Yeah, definitely.
Amy explains these are often misdirected protection mechanisms. Maybe you had a really stressful meeting while drinking a latte. Your body, trying to protect you, mistakenly blames the latte instead of the meeting stress.
Ah, so it creates an association.
Right, a faulty one. So you can clear these using TTT for the emotions tied to the reaction, or the sweep to change beliefs like coffee is dangerous for me into coffee is safe for me, essentially helping your body reevaluate the trigger.
And she mentioned a practical tip for that.
Yeah, just tap the EFT points for maybe a minute before and after you encounter the trigger again, just for the first few times, to help your body stay calm as it relearns.
Smart. Okay, what else is in the advanced section?
This one's really fascinating. Inherited energies or generational trauma.
Inherited, like passed down.
Exactly. Emotional baggage passed down through the family line, almost like DNA. Amy shares her own family example with Holocaust survivors and her father's depression. These things can create energetic imprints.
Wow, so you can carry stuff that isn't even technically yours.
It seems so. But the empowering part is, Amy suggests you might be the one in your lineage evolved enough to clear these energies. Not just for you, but for the whole family line, past and future.
How do you clear inherited stuff?
You use the same techniques, TTT, EFT, the sweep, but you consciously name the energy as inherited. So with TTT, you release inherited stuck emotions. With EFT, you might clear an inherited unprocessed experience that you know about from family stories, maybe specifying from my mother's side. With the sweep, you revise the script slightly for inherited beliefs, like, even though I have this inherited belief that money doesn't grow on trees.
Okay, specifying it's inherited.
And finally, she touches on other triggers, things like specific times of day, seasons, or even weather patterns that might trigger anxiety because of past associations.
Like feeling anxious every morning because something bad happened in the morning once.
Precisely. Or feeling down every summer, but you lost a job one summer. Again, use TTT for the emotions, EFT for any specific experiences tied to those times, and the sweep to change beliefs like, this morning is dangerous for me, to something positive.
It covers so many bases.
It really does. Ultimately, healing anxiety this way, it's like a complete makeover for your entire energy system, as Amy puts it. You're working on those 5 core areas: calming the body, dealing with feelings, releasing stuck emotions, clearing past experiences, and changing beliefs, plus the advanced layers if needed.
And the key takeaway seems to be there's no single magic bullet, right? It's about consistent work from different angles.
Exactly. No one right way, no perfect order. It's about chipping away, being your own curious detective, and trusting your intuition as you navigate these layers within yourself. You really are equipped now to explore this.
So here's something to think about. What if there's just one, maybe seemingly small, stuck emotion or harmful belief that you could start exploring, something you might not even realize you're holding on to? What could that unlock if you listened to that whisper from your body and decided to release it? What freedom might be waiting?
That's a powerful thought to leave people with.
Yeah, because engaging in this kind of work, even starting small, it really is about becoming a more empowered person, taking back control of your inner reality and moving towards a life that feels, strong, balanced, and fundamentally calm.